Hello, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. And since I started this new podcast series of Growth Driven about 5-6 months ago, I've really stepped up my networking game. And I want to share with you my 3-step process that's really going to help you increase your game when it comes to better networking. Hello, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. We all know that networking is an important part of business. This is not new news to you, but how do we actually put networking into a causative, proactive, daily activity, but it actually brings about positive results, ROI, new connections, new opportunities, because that's really what networking is about. When quarantine hit, I had to kind of rebrand my show because, well, previously I was doing YouTube videos in coffee shops, called it caffeinated content. But during quarantine, coffee shops were closed here in Las Vegas. So I had to get some new tools, and I decided to get a new brand. Versus going to the coffee shop, I got this desktop and better equipment to do this. And so I wondered, how am I going to increase my networking? This is a common question. How do I do this from home? So let's just take a look. I'm going to share with you a screen here. And this is the definition of networking from Investopedia. Valid source here. What is networking? Networking is exchange of information and ideas among people with a common profession or special interest, usually in an informal social setting. Networking only often begins with a single point of common ground. Key point here. Networking is used by professionals to expand their circles of acquaintances, to find out about job opportunities in their fields, and to increase their awareness of news and trends in their fields in the greater world. Okay, so we're trying to expand our influence. We start with common ground. So I decided, how am I going to actually be more proactive with this? So this is where I wanted to have my show to become a networking tool. I interview people, and by interviewing people, I got to collaborate, which is the first step. I reached out and said, instead of saying, hey, let's network together, let's do business together, that usually tends to put up a brick wall. That in sales, they call that sales resistance. Why would I want to talk to you? Or why would I want to do business with you? What are you trying to sell me? What removed the resistance, instead of let's work together, or let me tell you about myself, or let me tell you about what I sell, is the collaboration began with this. Would you like to be on my show? Which brings me to my next point, validate. By collaborating in a validating way, by saying you're important, your views are worth hearing, I want to interview you, I was validating their reputation. I was validating their knowledge, their skill sets. I was validating who they were by going, you're someone important enough that I want to interview. Which brings me point number 3. I want to take my show and not only validate you in a collaborative measure, but I want to then disseminate our interview across my email list, across social media. I want to optimize it on YouTube so that it can be found when people are typing in keywords. And because my email list and my social followers total around 35,000 people, there's going to be a lot of dissemination, a lot of spreading of your ideas to a greater number of people. Moreover, I'm going to allow you to take that YouTube link, that podcast, and YouTube can disseminate this. So collaborate with the purpose to validate and disseminate. When that became my networking, my 3-step networking process, my networking exploded. All All the people loved being on my show. Moreover, some of those people are now becoming clients and or partners. So really it's a matter of scaling. How many more people can I collaborate with the purpose to validate and then disseminate that piece of content across YouTube, social media, paid advertising, podcasts, etc. This may be something that you could also emulate in your networking. How could you, in a collaborative manner, validate others and then disseminate that content? You could have your own show. You could have your own podcast. Maybe you could write a book with other people. The idea is this is what has been my 3-step formula for networking success. I think if you find a way that it makes sense for you to replicate in your own style, your own manner, the way that you feel comfortable with, I think you're going to find that this is a successful way to go about. This has been another edition of Driven. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.